morning, Dallas, Fort Worth. It's great to be here with you guys in this beautiful city. Oh my gosh, what a city! So beautiful, so encouraging. Oh my gosh, that's got to be one of the nicest drives ever from Houston to Dallas. And what blew my socks off is we're like in a forest of some kind, and then boom, we're downtown. It's like, wow, this is my kind of city right here. You know what I mean? In LA, you drive through like 3 hours of warehouses. But I was like, it was like beautiful, and then boom, pristine, downtown, gorgeous. So it's just so amazing. Weirdly, as a Canadian, I feel a little bit like I'm coming home. I was stationed, joined the Army when I was 17. I was stationed in a small cowboy town. And I didn't know why God put this Montreal boy in this place, but I think God was getting me ready to fall in love with those people, with pickup trucks, with cowboy hats, with country music. Man, I fell in love with country music. You know what I mean? Started dating a country Moabite. She wanted to get married at 21. I couldn't understand that concept, you know. And then was honorably discharged from the service. Went to university. She left me because I wasn't ready to start a family at 21 years old. And but hey, man, I'm down with that for those who enjoy that. You know, I just wasn't ready for that. And then praise God, a couple years later, I was met and was able to become a disciple. But it's just it's an honor to be here. It feels a little bit like coming home. And it's great to be here, of course, with my lovely wife, Leanne. And many people see pictures of me and Leanne together and they go, that's AI. That's ChatGPT. That's not real. She's real, y'alls. She's real. We're really together. So great to be here with the Gregorys. I'll never forget, you know, I met Joey many times, but the time I remember first meeting Joey, he comes in, it was at ICCM, I don't know if you remember, you came to an ICCM class, and, you know, he's this football dude, you know what I mean? So my son Tim Jr. is a football guy now, you know what I mean? So they're men of few words, as you know what I mean? They're stoic, they don't want to talk very much, they don't have a lot to say. And I'm like, the way I communicate with my son Jr. is by talking about football, which I don't really know anything about football, so I'm forced to learn. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a hockey town, and but Joey was like that. You know what I mean? Stoic, quiet, not a lot to say. Hey, what do you think about the ministry? You know, I'm football. You know, I'm a football guy. You know, and to see now I knew that there was an incredible amount of raw material to work with. You know what I'm saying? And to see how he has just transformed, that's what impresses me. Is change. Like if you were awesome in some department before you got baptized, you get baptized and you're still awesome in that department. That's cool. But show me the change of the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Show me sanctification. Show me character. That's what I want to see. And for me, that's what Joey defines. And I love you very much. And of course, Karen, what a precious soul, what an incredible leader, what an incredible woman. These guys are going to do amazing, amazing things. She was of course, we knew her before, but she was the McKean's assistant, and we're kind of, Kip is my father in the faith, and Karen is a daughter of Kip and Elena, and so we became brother and sister on a very deep level. And then I just want to say how grateful we are for you guys, how impressed we are with your hearts. When we were offered the opportunity to come to Dallas-Fort Worth, of course, we were very excited. And but I said, you know what, before we make any determination, I want to call the Gregorys, I want to call the McMurrays, and I want to get their blessing and make sure they feel great about it. And so it was, we were so excited to hear that they're excited about this next opportunity that they have. And so we prayed about it, and we said, okay, this sounds like it's from God. Let's do this thing. And we were in Sydney, Australia. We flew back at that moment to LA to talk to our kids, because you know how the kingdom works. Like, the fastest way to spread news in the kingdom is not an email. The fastest way to spread news in the kingdom is to tell your best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell my best friend. And then just one. Okay, now maybe two. But guess what? They have best friends who have best friends who have I mean, this thing spreads like COVID. And it's in every nation suddenly. So we said, okay, let's just fly home, 21-hour flight home. Landed in LA. Junior's the oldest. Bring him in the room first. Sit him down. Junior, we have an opportunity to possibly move to Texas. He's like 14 years old, you know. And we go, it's arguably the #1 state in America for football. God willing, no promises, but you'll get your own room. Because right now he's stacked with an 11-year-old who likes to listen to like anime, like really loud. You know what I mean? It's like David like is into like, I don't fully understand it. The technology is like beyond me, but it's like they film themselves playing video games with their friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, rah! And then you have Junior like 3 feet away at his desk, like. I said, you're going to get your own room. So we said #1 state for football. He kind of sits forward. You get your own room, sits forward. But then I go, Junior, I want to be honest with you. In California, you're 14 years old, you're 6 foot tall, you're big, you're strong, and you're fast. He's got under 7-minute mile for a 14-year-old. It's pretty good. I go. So of course the coaches love you. You know what I mean? And you're a lifter and da da da. Cool. You're discipled by Gavin Fua. I don't know if you guys know Gavin. You know what I mean? So they just go and like. And I'm like, but here's the thing. I want to be honest with you. In Texas, everybody's big and fast. I said, I love you. You're my son, but I want to be honest with you. I don't know if you'll even make the team. He sat forward. He was like, Dad, I'm going to make the team. I need to go to the gym now. And he's been every day. I mean, he just took that challenge. I know my son, you know what I mean? It was a little bit of reverse psychology, but he's like every day at the gym, running, cutting down his mile, cutting down his 40-yard dash, And so he's super excited to be here. He's been a disciple 2 years. And he's just, you know, Kingdom kids are very special because Kingdom kids, they don't hear what you say. You know what I'm saying? They don't even hear what you think. They see the truth. They've been around. You know what I mean? He was born in England, moved over here, lived in France, lived in India, these kids, they've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? And what they want is what all disciples want, actual friendship. They want a real relationship with God, and they want a real relationship with some other people. And I said, that is what the people of the Dallas-Fort Worth Church are all about. And so David, my son David, was a little bit of an easier pitch. We won him on own room, and that was pretty much it. We said, your own room, put your own posters up. It'll be your thing. Done. Pack your bags. But he cried for a minute about his friends, but I said, David, you don't even meet your friends anyways. You don't even, like the neighbor kid, you're on the video with him, right? They have video in Texas, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't even when you're together, you're all on your phone. So we're good, right? Like, you're going to continue to have the same friendships and everything. He was like, you're right. We're good. So he's super excited. So God is really working in an incredible way, and we're super honored. So we wanted to come in order to meet everybody here. I want to say how grateful I am for the McMurrays and their leadership. It's great to have Bob McMurray's wonderful son here visiting. Good to see you. It was great to get last night with the Mogollons. He was baptized in our region in Long Beach years and years ago, and I still pronounce his name wrong, so I'm sorry. But to see, man, look at this beautiful wife, baby on the way. God has blessed you, bro. God has blessed your faithfulness. It's so great. You know, I got a bunch of people I want to honor here, but it's great to have the Oklahoma City crew in the house, the Galezes, and all you guys. We honor you guys, respect you guys. As you know, Brian Carr is going to be coming to be the associate leader of the DFW Church and the geographic sector leader for Texarkoma. I don't know what he's going to call it. You know, some cool name. People come up with cool names these days. And he was a Oklahoma gymnast who was an All-American. And he was actually born in Texas. And this is an amazing brother with an incredible wife. You guys are going to absolutely fall in love with them. It's so great to see the Sterlings. Where are the Sterlings at? We kind of go back, you know what I'm saying? There they are. It's so great to see you guys. The Hernandezes. So many others that we know. You know, Kenneth, so great to see you, bro. Happily married. Life is good. We really want to take a moment. I do want to take a moment to honor the Searses who planted this church. Leanne discipled her years and years ago back in Orange County in 2007, to see the incredible spiritual giants they've become. Of course, it was an honor to have the Chavezes come to LA. And we just connected with them in an incredible way. We learned so much from them, and it was such an honor to have them, and we're so excited to see all the incredible things that God is doing with that wonderful family. I want to introduce you guys a little bit to the team that's coming in, but we kind of feel uncomfortable with that term because there's no need for a mission team or a supplemental mission team to come to Dallas-Fort Worth. We have a cranking church here. So I want you to see us as just your family who are coming in, and we are humbly placing membership in this family, and we're super excited to get to know you guys, and I want there to be zero weird divide or, you know, these guys are from LA, whatever. We're all here, we're all in the same boat, and we all better worry about the devil. You know what I'm saying? And he hates us all equally. He doesn't see very much difference between us. Are you guys with me? And so neither should we. But we're super excited that the Carrs are coming in, Brian and Joelle. You guys are going to love them and their children. Ryan and Rosas Hill. So if you're a Facebooker, you know, just start friend requesting all these people like crazy. Ryan and Rosas Hill just got married. He will be the Tribe World Sector Administrator. He's also the registrar for ICCM. Leanne and I serve as the global chancellor and dean of women for ICCM. So ICCM will be headquartered now out of Dallas-Fort Worth, which is awesome. We're coming in with an amazing couple called the Hammonds, Paul and Kim Hammond. They are the Tribe World Sector leaders, World Sector shepherds in training. They're training toward that role, which is very exciting. And we believe they're going to do an incredible job. I mean, they bring an enormous amount of maturity to the table. The Lovichevs, Matt and Marlo Lovichev, and they are going to lead CR, chemical recovery, for the whole Tribe World Sector. So you'll have cranking CR retreats and stuff like that. It'll be amazing. Then, of course, Ryan and Ayana Keenan with their delightful daughters will be coming in as well. He's the former tribe administrator, but he's going to be coming looking for work here in a great way. We've got, I don't know if you guys know, Gavin and Bella Fua, but they're going to be coming in. And then we have our daughter in the faith, Mylin, which I look at her, I'm like, you are from Texas. You know what I mean? Like, she just looks like a Texas lady. You know what I mean? Then our sons, Tim Jr., who's a disciple, David, who's studying the Bible right now, which is awesome. Then there's a sister from the IE named Emma Oliveira, and you're going to meet her. She's awesome. We got Lisa Davis, who is a shepherdess, a more mature sister, who's wonderful. The Hammonds are also bringing their mom, who's also a disciple, wonderful sister. And then there's two other sisters coming in from Denver as well. So there's a nice little crew coming in who I believe are really going to encourage everybody. And it's going to be quite a special family that God is going to build here in an incredible way. So I want to share with you guys a couple scriptures, if I may. And I'd like everybody, if possible, to turn with me to Proverbs 24, verse 5. The title of my lesson today is Growing in Strength and Empowerment from the Lord. Growing in strength and empowerment. In Proverbs 24, verse 5, the Bible says, "The wise prevail through great power, and those who have knowledge muster their strength." In Isaiah 40, verse 29, the Bible says, "God gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak." So sometimes as Christians, it's like, man, is it wrong for me to ask to be stronger? Is it wrong for me to ask to be more empowered? But in fact, there's so many scriptures that show us that this is in fact really what God wants to do with us. Yes, God wants to grow our movement. Yes, God wants to grow our world sector. Yes, God wants to grow our geographic sector and our churches and the campus and the singles and the marrieds and the teens. And God wants to grow your Bible talk. But guess how God is going to do that? By growing you. God wants you individually as a disciple to get stronger and to be more empowered. How does God strengthen us as disciples? Let me open it up. How does God strengthen you? Give me a way. Hardship. So that's interesting, right? Like, God, make me stronger. Challenges. God, take away the problems. I thought you said you wanted to be stronger. What happened? So what's the narrative of the world? Trouble will break you down and destroy you. What's the Bible say? Rejoice when you face troubles of many kinds, because you know that perseverance has to finish its work so that you can be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So actually the truth is, right? And we know this. This is a concept everybody understands. If you sit on a couch every day, what's going to happen? You're going to gain weight. You're not going to get in shape, right? Okay, if you go to the gym and you lift weights, what's going to happen? You're going to get stronger, right? Okay, so you then ask God to make you stronger. What do you think he's going to do? Introduce heavier weights. You know, my mom had a saying, the only thing that changes in life is the quality of your problems. So you know, you have the problem of how do I come up with my rent? And then later in life, it's like, how do I come up with payroll for 75 employees? Your problem, you still have the same problem, but the quality has dramatically changed. Are you with me? And in fact, the second one is tougher. So God will strengthen you, and I really believe God loves us so much that he introduces the perfect problems for every person. He has given you, it's kind of trippy to understand this, okay? But God has given you the perfect plate. Last night we went for barbecue. And it was like, I don't want to lie, right? I was like, is this the best brisket I ever had? If you have to ask, it is. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I think it's got to be. I mean, I don't think I've ever tasted anything like this. This is the best ribs I ever had. I think so. You know what I mean? I even put some away, like, and my finger touched it, and I licked my finger, and then I opened the thing back up, and I just pulled it back out. I was like, it was that good. You know what I'm saying? And God prepares the perfect plate for each of us. That bill that just showed up, the troubles in your life, the relational troubles, whatever it is, actually, believe it or not, these are not the irritating things that you think they are. They're a beautiful bouquet from God preparing you for the great things that he's going to do for you in the future. Okay, what else? How else can God strengthen you? Persecution, right? Spreads the word real good. One or two good articles. Everybody in the world is going to know about our movement. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the persecutors just don't really think about it hard enough. You know what I mean? There was this article written about us years ago, and it was like, this church is all about the Bible, and they expect everybody to do what the Bible says. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you. Spread that. You know, I'll help. You know what I mean? Have you read this? You need to read this, you know. What else? Discipline. You guys are negative. You guys are negative. Hardship, challenges, suffering, terrible suffering. God can strengthen you through increased faith. So it's so easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, well, this is going on in my life, and this is going on. I'm really worried about it. What do you think God's going to do about that? How do you think God's working through this? Oh, I didn't think about that. Could that be why you're not doing great? You know what I mean? Like, that's called faith. We believe that God is going to do great things, that even hardship is good for us. And we believe that in spite of the troubles of this life, even if we were to die today, we get to go to heaven. Honestly, the fastest way to get rid of stress and anxiety is just to remember that the truth of the matter, it's not even a power thought. I'm not even trying to encourage anybody or anything. But the truth of the matter is, Jesus can come back in 5 minutes from now or 10 minutes from now, and all your problems will be completely irrelevant. And that helps you focus on what's right in front of you, and then great things happen. Faithful people focus on what's in front of them because they just know they don't have tomorrow. And then they end up doing great things. What else? Transitions. You guys are negative. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a sister. Wait a second, guys. That's positive. Answered prayers. You know, when you see God, you know, older disciples who have more experience tend to be stronger. Why? Because they've seen God work more times. They've seen more answered prayers. They've even seen prayers that don't get answered the way they thought turn into an answered prayer. They see God work in incredible ways and actually answer needs you didn't even know you had. Are you with me? God strengthens us, guys, through relationships. God strengthens us through relationships. One of the ways that God has strengthened me is through my lovely wife, Leanne. You know, I'll never forget walking into the church for the first time as a non-disciple. And I was invited out by a Jamaican brother. And he walks me in, and he's like, and I see on the stage, the room wasn't that different than this. And we kind of came down that side right there. And I see on the stage this sister practicing this like singing, dancing thing. And I was stunned. I never said this before. I don't think I'd ever said this before in my life, but I was walking down, and I just go, that is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Now, I don't know why the brother got so tense. But he turned to me, and he's like, first get to know Jesus. Then get to know the sisters. Now, I didn't know at the time, but he had an interest in this sister. And so, but at the time, she was dating this incredible, handsome monster of a man. Burundian. You know how, like, you know, God, like, took clay and made man? I think in this case, God took a rock. He just blew into a rock. It was like this guy was, I can't tell if somebody's good looking or not. You know what I'm saying? I look at Joey, I look at me, I can't really tell there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm in the same ballpark. But I knew this guy was good looking. And he's dating Leanne. Now, let me just preface this part by saying that Leanne is a women's ministry leader. She has the honor of serving as a world sector leader. She's the dean of women for the ICCM. She's a published author. In the last 7 years, she helped appoint over 40 women's ministry leaders and helped send out 25 mission teams from LA. I'm very proud of her. I think she's been fruitful every month except like last month because we're like moving and stuff like that this year. She works out twice a day. She's a pretty incredible lady, right? And she's just motivated by grace. She's motivated by gratitude for what God has done in her life, and she's a firecracker. This brother broke up with her because she was not ministry material. I get like tingles, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, that's like crazy. That's like, he had an opportunity to buy Bitcoin when it was like 2 pennies a coin, you know what I mean? And he breaks up with her. So she was very sad. Vulnerable. She needed a shoulder to cry on. Just a friend to call at those right moments and be there with the latte when I saw her sitting by herself, journaling. Put that journal away. It's a latte. Let's connect. And now I didn't want to. I'll be honest with you guys. Okay, this is the truth. Like I'd seen brothers come in from Toronto to date Leanne, and it didn't work out. And I saw brothers come in from New York and different churches, and it was like, oh, this brother's here to date Leanne, or like ask Leanne, or meet Leanne. And her dad's the president of the church and the board, and prominent member. And I just didn't want to be that dude. You know what I mean? Like I was like, dang, I'm gonna here I go. I like Leanne. She's not dating that dude anymore. And now we're friends. We're friends. I have a real friendship with her. You know what I mean? We really enjoy being around each other and stuff. And now I'm going to like her, and it's going to make it weird. And then she's going to have to tell my discipler to tell me to back off, and you know what I mean? I just don't want that. You know what I mean? I just don't want this. And my discipler comes out to me. Remember, I'm like a 2-year-old Christian at this time. My discipler comes out to me and he goes, Tim, you're going to marry Leanne. You guys are going to do great things all over the world. I'm like, that's the exact opposite that they told me you should tell me at the dating Devo. At the dating Devo, they said, don't attach your heart and don't. Are you trying to get me to fall away or something like that? He goes, bro, just go ask her. So I'll never forget going to ask Leanne to be my girlfriend. And I was blown away that she said yes. And I was blown away that she was happy about it. You know what I'm saying? And then comes 6 of the weirdest, hardest months ever. I could not talk. Every time we'd go on a date, I didn't know what to do with my hands. I'm like, I don't know what to say. It's super awkward. And then I drop her off at home, and I'm like, she's for sure going to break up with me, dude. That was the weirdest date ever. What is wrong with you? And then the next Sunday, we go out for a date on Saturday. And then Sunday, I get to church, and she has this cranking card for me. That was an amazing date. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. I enjoyed when you said, I'm like, that's the only thing I said. And God worked it out in an incredible way. I got my mojo back, my courage. We got engaged, we got married, and God has strengthened me enormously through this incredible woman. I love you very much. And God's not messing around. God wants to strengthen you. Too many disciples are just not in touch with how strong God could make you. And so I want to ask you a question. Could you grow in your faith? Can you grow in your relationships? Can you grow in your fruitfulness? Fruitfulness, if you take, most people don't know this, but if you chop down a fruitful tree, it will not burn. It takes 2 years, you got to dry it out before you can use that, even just to burn. Forget using it for furniture or anything else, because it's too moist. It's built to not burn. Fruitful disciples don't burn. It's when we're not fruitful that we get dried up. That's when Satan comes along and burns us up. There's so many ways we could keep going that God can strengthen us. God can also strengthen us through our character. Turn with me to James chapter 3. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in humility that come from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy or selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. James chapter 3, starting in verse 13, Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. So when you find selfish ambition and you find envy, we know we're going to start digging around a little bit, and we're going to find some impurity. We're going to find some alcoholism. We're going to find some adultery. We're going to find some immorality. We're going to find, once you open that up, it's just going to be worms. Are you with me? But verse 17 says, but wisdom that comes from heaven, and that's where we want to get our wisdom from, right? Is first of all pure, then peace-loving. We love peace. You can sleep all day, that doesn't give you peace. You can rest all the time, it doesn't give you peace. You can drink alcohol, it doesn't give you peace. You can seek impurity, it's not going to give you peace. You can eat, it's not going to give you peace. Peace is peace. And peace comes from God. And peace is amazing. And it's strengthening and it's fun. Are you guys with me? Considerate. When you have character, you are considerate. You are thoughtful of other people. Submissive. So hey, I'm cool. Who's got the authority to do what? Oh, let them do their job. Why does that bother me? Are you guys with me? Full of mercy. We're just full of mercy. Just, oh, you messed up, you hurt me, well, I forgive you. We're good. Who am I? I put Jesus on the cross. We're good, dude. Trust me. Trust me, we're good. You're not mad at me at all? But I did this and I did this to you and I hurt you and man, I smeared you and I knew that, but I was cool because I love you and I don't want you to go to a bad place. If you're not careful, you will. But that's between you and God. I just want to be the best Christian I can be. I want to be a Christian. I want to go anywhere, do anything, give up anything. I'm not entitled to anything. And a lot, unless Jesus comes back tomorrow, a lot's going to go down. And we better be strong. Because people who are not strong, when the hits of life come, they get bitter. And bitter people get dangerous. But strong people, they get hit, boom. And they just learn, okay, next time I'm going to keep my elbow a little deeper, okay? All right, we're good, you know what I mean? Like, I know what that, okay, so next time the combination is going to come this way, then this way. Okay, but I'm going to, you know, it's, we get better. We're like, thank you for that. Are you with me? Full of mercy and good fruit. You know, there's 5 kinds of fruit in the Bible. What are they? Huh? Come on, Bob. You're on the spot. Okay, what? No, that's fruit of the Spirit. Okay, so that's one kind. Fruit of making disciples. Oh, snap, ICCM. Fruit of making disciples, because that's a fruit, right? Like if I put a apple seed in the ground, what do you think I'm going to get? Never bananas, right? So disciples are going to make disciples. So fruit of the Spirit, fruit of your loins, fruit of children, fruit of the womb, fruit of family. Who's your brothers and sisters in the faith? Who's your uncles in the faith? Who's your parents in the faith? So many sisters are looking for a wonderful, delightful, spiritual husband. Get a spiritual father in the faith first. I don't know, you know, it's so funny in the kingdom, you know, because we're so serious about purity. You know what I mean? You get this perfectly awesome young man who likes this perfectly awesome young woman. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, do you like her? Like, is this a trick? I only love Jesus. You think you can catch me on this one? You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, dude, it's okay to like girls. It's okay to like girls. Do you have like some chemistry going there? I'm not answering these questions. Are you trying to disfellowship me? No, it's okay to have chemistry. It's okay to like her. She's spiritual. Is there compatibility? Let's talk this through. It's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? And you have to kind of like push them a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to get them to like become like they become like vegetarians or something. You know, and nothing wrong with vegetarianism, but you got to like get them back into like red meat. You know what I'm saying? And you got to just like help them out. Like, dude, it's okay to like this sister, and I want you to like start making some moves, dude. This here's the thing. This girl is a Christian woman. She loves God. She's pure. And she deserves to be swept off her feet, dude. Don't go in with some kind of willy-nilly, like, hey, no. There needs to be romance in the kingdom of God. You know what I'm saying? But who do you think's going to have that talk? Sisters, your dad in the faith's going to have that talk. Every time. I've married like in the double digits of people, and I can't remember one time where I didn't have to have that talk with that dude at some point. Now, once they're in, they're good. They're locked, and they're self-teaching at that point. You know what I'm saying? But you need to get them to a good locked-in stage. The gift of relationships, it strengthens us. You know, I've married a lot of people, and every wedding is different for me. And I learn a little bit from every wedding. And the last wedding I did, the part that popped for me for the first time was the parents walking the bride down the aisle. So when a father walks a bride down the aisle, what does that represent? Okay, yeah, that's way deeper than I was looking for. That's good. That's good. Woo! I never thought of that. It's like, but that's good. But okay, let's go with that though. But what is God? So this father walking down the aisle, what does he do for this bride? What has he been doing for the past 20 years? He has provided for her. This dude is a scavenger. He never fails to hit rent, mortgage, bills. This guy pays the bills. He knocks it out. He gets in the ring with $5,000 of bills every single month and knocks it out stone cold and doesn't want or expect a thank you. He just like wants like some kind of food at night. You know what I mean? And he's a protector. He's a successful protector because she made it to that point. Are you with me? So what does that represent, this father walking down the aisle with this woman? You guys are deep. You guys keep hitting me. That's true too. But it represents providing and protecting. And he's got her to this point. But then what happens? He hands her off to this young turkey. Right? Now, is he like a hard soldier scavenger? No. He's a white belt husband. You know what I mean? But he will learn to be. And then what happens? For the first time, that father, and sadly because of our broken society, often it's the father and the mother walking down the aisle. Because the dad wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And so sadly, you got this whole generation of broken women. They're not used to being provided for. They're not used to being protected. And then that's why they're willing to let their husband cheat on them with his other priorities. But when that happens, I mean, that husband, that father walks that daughter down the aisle. He's been providing for her in a perfect world. He's been protecting her. Sadly, it doesn't happen all the time. He walks her down the aisle. He hands off to this young man who in no way is ready for this job, but we're going to help him. And then what happens? For the first time in 20 years, that gentleman sits down. And who's alone? It's the husband and the wife. And this dude has a new job. If he was never in the military, if he was never in the police, if he never became a warrior in his life, he's a warrior now. Because he has to provide and he has to protect his family now. It's the most sacred moment of becoming a warrior. I was in the infantry. I've had all kinds of badges popped on me and all kinds of pats on the back and all kinds. But I became a warrior and a provider and a scavenger and a fighter the day I became a husband. Are you guys with me? Now, sadly, what happens is, our priorities are clear when you're at that wedding altar, right? It's like, God is number one. The church, in a sense, is number two, because we're coming before the church, and if she falls away, I'm still going to church. If he falls away, she's still going to go to church. She will never obey her husband to not obey God. That's weird, right? So that's what God is number one. In a sense, the church is number two in that she's going to be a Christian, right? Number three in that dude's mind, when he's there with her lock-eyed, is her. Are you with me? Then is going to come their children, who will be number four. And then will come whatever job you have, be it even the ministry. Are you with me? But then, 3 months later, remember, she's kind of a broken girl. Nobody really protected her, so she's willing to take the crumbs off the table. He's kind of like quietly restructured things. She's now number 4 or 5, and the ministry's maybe number 3, but quietly, the ministry might be number 1. Oh. Now God is number 2, but really it's soccer. So God's number 3, if we think about it. She's number 4, but he does like video games. So maybe video games are number 4. And she might be number 5, but she's cool with it because nobody ever treated her with respect in her entire life, and it's not that different than what the level of thoughtfulness that she grew up with. So she's okay. Are you with me? Until she's not okay. Because 2-3 years later, something's going to change. And she's going to go, I don't feel respected. I'm not your concubine. I'm not your dating. I'm not like your little mistress. I'm supposed to be your wife. And here's the newsflash. That dude is going to run to God, and what's he going to find out? God's like, I have some things to talk to you about too. I was supposed to be number 1, turkey. But you put ministry ahead of me. You put your job ahead of me. Some people even put their kids ahead of God. God's like, I've because I love you and I'm full of mercy, I've tolerated, but I can't tolerate it anymore. Because now it's wrong. Now I can live with somebody stumbling and falling and sorting themselves out, but I can't live with a new doctrine. And what does the Bible say? If someone comes and teaches a new doctrine, you put up with it easily enough. Are you with me? But here's the thing. When people hear this, they go, oh, so you're saying that, cranking and being in the ministry, you're saying that's not a priority. No, I'm saying you won't even be able to do that without a wife and without God. It's not a discussion. Are you with me? God has to be number one because God is where you're going to get your strength from. The church has to be number two because you're never going to give up being a disciple. How many people you see them popped out of ministry and then they fall away too? Why? Because God wasn't number one and the church wasn't number two. Ministry was number one. Are you with me? God's got to be number one. The church has to be number two. I'm not, bulletproof. Satan can come after me. But I know God is number one and the church is number two. In that I'm going to be a disciple. But I also know number three is that lady sitting right there. And number four is my kids. Now the church, including my brothers and sisters, are closer to me than my blood family. And luckily, my wife is part of that. Are you with me? But number five, if I have kids, that's what I'm going to do for a living. And if God blesses me, that could be the ministry. And if God blesses me and it is the ministry and I got God in the right place, I got the church in the right place, I got my wife in the right place, I got my kids in the right place, what kind of minister am I going to be? A great one. Are you guys with me? So when we put things in the right order, as newsflash, Kip has been teaching since 1976, as if we put things in the right order, we will be stronger and better, not less empowered. Are you guys with me? Some people are in touch with this, and they're just like oaks. You ever imagine going in the forest and just like punching a tree as hard as you can? Like, I don't care how zealous you are, that's going to get real boring. You know what I mean? And painful, and you're going to be done with it after a very short period of time. Like, the toughest guy in the world might go like 15 minutes. But after 15 minutes, you're done punching a tree. Are you with me? And some people are like trees. And they're strong, and they get everything I just said, and they're like, that's what I do. However, God doesn't just want us to be strong. He also wants us to be powerful. You know, what's the difference between power and influence? Influence is I go, hey, bro, would you kindly pick up that water bottle? And he does it. I influenced him. Power is I go lift up the water bottle myself. See how cool that was? Like, dang, is this a water bottle? But it's a demonstration of power. Some disciples are more in touch with the power they have than others. When we wake up in the morning as a disciple of Jesus, God has forgiven all of our sins and forgotten everything. We have the same spirit in us that was in Samson that tore down an entire temple with his hands. We have incredible capacity with this incredible sword of the Bible in order to go and do amazing things. And we are a demonstration of that power because every single person in this room, at some point, somebody knew they had power from God and walked up and shared their faith with you. Not a single person is here without someone sharing their faith and using the power that God wants you to have. Some people wake up in the morning and they go, I feel the strength of God, but they're not in touch with the power. Other people wake up with the power. I got the power. I can do anything. I got the power to make money. I got the power, but they get punched by a toothpick, and they're shattered. As a family here today, I want to challenge us. I'm not even trying to give you a power thought or nothing. This is a personal, individual challenge, not to ministries or churches or anything like that, but to individual disciples. How much higher can you go in your strength with God? How much higher can you go being in touch with the power that God has given you? I believe that God is able to do amazing things with each and every single one of us. And this is the funnest thing in the world, guys. It's so much fun to get stronger with God. It's so much fun to employ the power that God gives us and see great things happen. And even when you don't see great things happen, God doesn't waste your power. You shared your faith with that person? Trust me, you have no idea how God's going to use that. Are you guys with me? Today as a family, I want to challenge us to embrace the strength and the power of the Lord. To use that strength and power to benefit one another. We're going to get stronger through relationships. We're going to get stronger through character. We're going to get stronger through faith. We're going to get stronger through hope. We're going to get stronger in a bunch of other ways that everybody will talk about hopefully in the break. We're going to be more empowered by God, and we're going to grow in power as we use that power. God's like, hey man, I'm going to give you a ton of power. I'm not even going to tell you how to use it. Just go out and have some fun. Even as we walk out of here, I preached this sermon in Houston with that amazing church down there. And I got a text message the next day. I walked out. I used my power. I shared my faith with the first person I saw. They're studying the Bible. They're going to be at church today. You don't have to wait till Monday or Tuesday or after staff, or you don't have to wait till the next time you're on campus. You can start to employ that power right now. This is a church that is already strong and empowered, built by incredible people on an amazing foundation of the Scriptures. Let's take this incredible heritage we have and add to it even greater strength and power. I love you guys very much. Thank you.